Hello and welcome to another episode of All Elite Arcade. It is Monday, and as always here at AEW Games, we talk video games on Mondays. Chugs, last week I came in, wasn't sure if I was going to play enough video games to fill up the episodes. I could tell you right now, I have a lot of stuff to talk about this week. I don't know about you. I played a lot.
I got a ton to talk about too, Uno. I know we sometimes say, man, I don't know how much we actually have to talk about, which, by the way, we always have a ton to talk about when it comes to video games.
There's always a plenty on our schedule.
Yeah, but this time coming in, holy moly! I'm glad to hear that you got to play a lot. So once again, welcome everybody, the All Elite Arcade Podcast, episode 85. Myself and Evil Uno, very excited to share with you all our current situation when it comes to the video game world. And Uno, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to jump right into what I've been playing. First of all, I do want to say this. I always bring this up, but still continuing through Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Recently, there was a special Pidgeot EX Mega Evolution drop event where you had to do some battles and things like that. You get 5 timed exclusive cards. I did manage to get them all. I've been very focused on making sure I get these cards before they disappear. So that's really, really cool. Again, every morning playing it, having a blast. Love the constant updates. It reminds you know, Fortnite updates all the time.
Oh yeah,
it's like Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket updates all the time, and I really appreciate it.
Keeps you coming.
Yeah. Also, for anyone who follows me on Twitch, I've said before, I am currently streaming Clair Obscure Expedition 33 and my own streamed playthrough of Hollow Knight Silksong. Recently, this isn't even really a spoiler at this point, but recently got to Act 2 in Hollow Knight Silksong on stream, which is awesome. But actually, Uno, I'm going to make that a little bit of a stopping point.
Okay.
Because as many people in my stream know, as you know, I still have not finished Clair Obscure Expedition 33. So again, the only time I'm playing this game is on stream, and I'm still trying to go through it on my own. And I was just thinking about this because someone in the chat brought this up, where I was saying I'm still trying to decide what's going to be my game of the year. And they said, you can't judge Clair Obscure Expedition 33 as a game of the year until you finish it. And they're 100% right.
They're not wrong.
They're absolutely 100% right. So going forward on stream, I'm hoping before the end of the year to finish Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Once again, this game is just continuing to grow and get more exciting and continue to blow me away. There's so many little things that I would love to talk about in this game, but I've been saying this forever, and I'm going to wait probably until next year to go into any sort of detail, because once again, if you have not experienced Clair Obscure Expedition 33, you need to play this game. It really, really is something special story-wise, and obviously, when we get into this later, the Game Award nominees and nominations, clearly the rest of the industry feels the same way. So again, if anyone has any interest in watching me continue my first playthrough of Clair Obscure Expedition 33, the game is really, really, really kicking up. Very, very excited to continue that. But as far as what I'm doing off stream, I did manage to finish my 16th game this year, Uno. I did manage to finish Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which I had talked about briefly before in the past. I was very much, as you will see, in a ninja mood this week, but I did finish Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. God, just an excellent, compact game. I think it took me between 6 and 8 hours to finish the campaign. Very fast twitch platforming, really tricky battles. Again, very, very tricky platforming, especially if you were trying to 100% this game. I by no means got 100% and got all the collectibles, but there is so much fun stuff. Also, the story, especially towards the end, really, really turns into something really cool. Not saying that the story wasn't interesting from the beginning, but what it evolves into was a really awesome tale. It really, really was. And again, it's a Ninja Gaiden game, so it's incredibly challenging, but I had so much fun with it, an absolute blast with it. Highly recommend Ninja Gaiden Ragebound for anyone looking for a 2D action platformer with quite a bit of difficulty. It's really fun. It's a game I would absolutely love to go back through again at some point if my backlog wasn't so huge.
Endless, really.
Yeah. But in addition to that, I wanted to jump from Ninja Gaiden Ragebound into Shinobi Art of Vengeance, which I'm playing that on my Nintendo Switch 2. Since those games came out relatively around the same time, there's been a lot of comparisons about them. And Shinobi is also an absolute blast. But I think I briefly mentioned this before. The games are very different. I know they are both 2D action platformy games, but definitely these games are different, and they bring something different to the table. Shinobi Art of Vengeance has a lot more of the Metroidvania aspect to the game. Now, it's still stages for sure, but you unlock different abilities that allows you to access different areas of these levels that you explore. So you're very encouraged to go back and access certain areas that you couldn't before within these stages, which is really cool. I've said before, the Shinobi Art of Vengeance art style is just immaculate. It's beautiful. The combat is really, really fun. This one is way more focused, I feel, on moves that you unlock and special moves that you use. There's so many of them that you can unlock, which that part has been an absolute blast. So Shinobi Art of Vengeance has been a ton of fun. I still have a little ways to go in that game. But once again, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, two ninja games, but two very, very different games. And they're both awesome in their own right for sure. I also only put a little bit more time into Pokemon Legends ZA. I'm continuing to go around to these wild zones and catch these Pokemon. Every time I go back to a Pokemon game, I'm reminded of how much I love the concept of Pokemon. Like going into a wild zone and seeing that I really appreciate that they did this, is when you go into a wild zone, Uno, there'll be like 6 slots with question marks of the available Pokemon in that area. So you'll go through and you'll catch like 5 of the 6. And you know that you're missing one more. So it encourages you to stay there and hope that you encounter.
And then like when you've completed a region, essentially. Oh, that's great. Which is
so
good.
nice for me. Yeah, so nice for me. So that part has been really fun. Once again, the battles are a lot of fun as well. I am still so early in this game, but the little bit that I've played it, I really have enjoyed it, and I'm definitely going to continue it. Also, I could be so wrong on this, and I'm going to feel so silly if this is the case. But another thing I really appreciate, and I think this goes way far back, like Gen 1, but I do appreciate now in Pokemon that when you get a TM or like a special move that you can give to your Pokemon, you can just use that unlimited.
Yes.
That you're like, it's not like you use it one time and it's gone forever, which I believe was the case in Generation 1 with Pokemon Red and Blue and things like that.
You could only teach it to one person, and you could never replicate it to anyone else. Until later on, I think you could purchase them very late in the game, I think.
Yes. So this time you can use as many TMs as you would like on as many Pokemon as you would like. Also, at any point, you can go back and relearn moves that you forgot as well, which is cool. Really, really nice in this game as well. So it gives you a ton of freedom there. I normally have a tendency when I play Pokemon, I'll get like an early group of 6, and I'll keep that group practically the whole playthrough. This one, I'm trying to be better about switching stuff around. I've already switched my 6 multiple times, and I'm still so early in the game. So I'm excited to experiment with a little more Pokemon that I normally don't use. I'm going to try to step out of my Pokemon comfort zone this time and see how it goes. But once again, the game runs amazing. It looks beautiful. It's been a ton of fun. And then there's another game that I jumped back into that playing this game, Uno, this week reminded me about. There are so many different games that I want to play, and there's so many different games I want to experience, but it might be a good idea for me to stick to like a smaller group of games just to remember the mechanics.
Yes.
Because I decided to jump back into Doom the Dark Ages.
Okay.
And I am at chapter 8. I managed to get a decent way through the level. I think I'm almost done with the level, but holy crap, am I being punished?
The
for
muscle
not
memory
remembering.
you need for this one, because there's so much parrying. There's so many new systems. Yeah, I remember trying to get back into this one. It's tough.
Yeah. It is. It's really, really tough. But again, Doom the Dark Ages is awesome. I love Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, and Doom the Dark Ages. I love the parrying system and the shield bash in Doom the Dark Ages. That's definitely a game that I want to finish for sure. But yeah, so all I wanted to mention, Doom the Dark Ages is amazing. But holy cow, you better know exactly what to do, and you better be able to react quickly. But Yeah, I'm gonna finish Doom: The Dark Ages. I think Uno after this week. I'm gonna try to really focus hard on Doom: The Dark Ages. We'll see.
That game came out this year.
Yes.
It feels like it ages ago because so many gigantic games have dropped since Dark Ages came out. It's insane.
Yep. So much, so much. And then there are two more games that I did want to talk about, and these two games are games that I had not played barely at all before. If actually, I don't think I played either of them at all. I think I watched my brother play one of these, but the one that I put the most time into, and this was after I finished Ninja Gaiden Ragebound on my Steam Deck, I decided to finally jump into Hades 2.
Yes. Yes.
Again,
finally.
Finally. I know. That's what I'm saying to myself too after playing 5 hours of this game. Finally. Again, truth be told, I have very, very little experience with roguelikes. It's a game or a genre of game that I've not put a ton of time into with any of these titles, but with Hades 2 being absolutely one of the best games this year. The original Hades, one of the best roguelikes, if not the best roguelike of all time, maybe now being surpassed by this one. This is a game and a genre I've wanted to jump into for a while. And again, I am so freaking glad that I did. So glad that I did. Again, the roguelike aspect of this game has been so much fun. But first of all, I want to say the art style, which everyone knows, absolutely beautiful.
Stunning.
The amount of voice acting they put into this game is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's almost your reward for playing. Like, the game is almost secondary, and the fact that you get brand new pieces of lore acted perfectly at all times is really the that's like the cherry on top at the end of a nice run. Yeah, seriously, because I have died a lot in Hades 2, like a lot, but every single time I go back to the hub area and I go and want to talk to these NPCs, they have like so much lines of dialogue every single time that you don't have to do if you don't want to, but I really want to. And it's been amazing. It's been so cool to see the story unfold in that way. And like you said, the voice acting lines are acted so incredibly well. But yeah, Hades 2 has been an absolute blast already this early in the game, trying to figure out and decide what my favorite weapons have been. I think my personal favorite so far were these. It's not the starting witch's staff, but there's like two other staffs that you can use where your light attack shoots like an orb kind of far away, but your strong attack spins an orb around you. And that was the farthest I got so far in a run using that attack, and then also getting really lucky with being able to level that up in the sense of then I could have two orbs, then my attack speed was 15% faster. Then my attacks also did, electric damage. It's really cool. And I understand the addicting part of not only Hades 2, but roguelikes in general, is every run feels so different. And you can hope to find certain things, or maybe you find something that you've never used before and you're like, I don't know if I like this. And then you use it and you're like, whoa, this is sick. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love the different paths that you can choose. But then I did mention this to you before we got started. It's hard. Oh yeah.
It's really hard. Like I am dying a lot, but the cool thing about it is every time I get a little bit farther, because when I go back to the hub area, the rewards that I get, I can unlock more things, more passive abilities, more abilities in general to make myself stronger or faster or what have you. And then also understanding kind of where I would like to go. I know initially when I played, there'd be two doors with two symbols. And I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. I would know that the heart probably meant getting some health back. But so many of the other ones, I'm like, what does this do? So then when you learn what those other things do, then you can decide and build your character as you go further and further through the game, which is awesome. But man, Hades 2 deserves all the hype that it's gotten. I know I'm preaching to the choir, to you and to everybody who's played Hades 2, but what an amazing game. I think this is the game that is going to make me get into roguelikes. I really, really do. It's been a blast to play.
I'm glad it's hooking you, because it is definitely one of those games that you could put a bit of time in, and death is almost a reward because you're going back to the hub and you're getting to advance like some branch of dialogue with someone, kind of explore more of their relationships. It really does feel like you can't do wrong. Even if you're failing very fast in this game, you'll then branch into like, I can't believe you lost to this person so quickly. And then everyone, has a discussion about that character. That you get back to that character that beats you. Let's say it's one of the bosses. They will reflect back on the fact they just beat you. Like it's the first game was equally as fascinating, but this one they packed with so much stuff. It's incredible experience.
And I know there's a path to go down and there's a path to go up. I haven't even gone up yet. Mm-hmm. I've just gone down every single time. But one small, like minor, but very minor spoiler to Hades 2. But again, the first boss that you encounter when going down is like your mentor character. And I remember the first time I battled my mentor, I got absolutely destroyed, like demolished. But then it was so cool a couple of runs later to go in and just demolish my mentor. and then as you go further, it gets stronger and stronger. It's awesome. The dodge mechanics are really, really cool. Again, Hades 2 is amazing. You were absolutely right, Uno. What a cool game. What a cool game. And last but not least, I did get to play a game from a genre I am very familiar with, a genre that I enjoy very, very much, that being the survival horror genre, and this being a more traditional survival horror. But I finally got to put some time into Crow Country.
Yes.
Which is, again, very much an old school, nostalgia-driven, inspired survival horror game that just nails it in every sense of the word. I am so early into Crow Country. I'm still in the beginning area in the amusement park area. And I'm not sure if the whole game takes place there, but I'm still very, very early in the game. But immediately, aside from the fact that I love there's tank controls, I love the PS1 aesthetic, but I love that virtually everything you search or look through, there's something there. Whether it be an item, whether it be a puzzle, like it immediately throws you right into the puzzle aspect of survival horror, which I love. The combat is really, really fun. Crow Country just nails the aesthetic of survival horror across the board. It really, really does. So I'm so excited to continue Crow Country. For anyone who hasn't played that, it's definitely worth your time. Definitely worth your time.
Yes.
And again, I'm so early in this game. Oh, and the only other thing I noticed about Crow Country, which is really cool, is I didn't realize that the item placement is RNG. Because the first time I played this game, I actually died before I even got to a save point. I was trying to kill 2 zombie-like enemies, and they killed me, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't even get to save. So I reloaded, and I'm like, okay, I'll run back to get these items, like one of those things being a laser pointer or like a laser sight for your gun, which was really useful. And I went to go there, and there was just a med pack there. There wasn't the laser pointer.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And then I was going and looking through, and I found it at another location. So it seems like every run might be a little bit different, which is awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah, really, really cool. Because the only other one I know that kind of does that, and I'm sure there are other ones, but there are RNG dependent things in the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, where sometimes there's different enemies there and things like that. But for there to be, and I don't know if there's different enemy placement, but I do know the items certainly change location, which definitely adds to the excitement of this game. So again, very excited to put some more time into Crow Country. Uno, I got to play so much stuff. I'm actually trying not to ramble too much because this podcast could go for 3 hours. But dude, it was a great week of gaming. Really, really great week. We got so much awesome stuff to play.
That's a hell of a list of video games you played too. Plus, and not even just recent stuff. You went back. I can tell you're prepping for the end of the year. You're going back and playing all the big titles. I completely get it. That's half of my week was the same idea too. I played a bunch of stuff as well. To start like you did, same stuff that I've been catching up on. Fortnite, I caught up to all of the new skins. I make sure I got all the, like, I'm a huge Simpsons fan. Had to make sure I finished this battle pass, get every skin humanly possible on there. They've just started teasing to their next event, where I believe a week out from when it will switch over. Not entirely sure what the next Fortnite event is. They've teased it with a little video that's featured a giant kaiju Eminem and Homer fighting Godzilla. So who the hell knows what it is? And then they also started teasing Kill Bill characters and the Kill Bill, like the motorcycle from which is called the Black Widow, I believe, or the Widow.
Yeah.
She's in there. That's in there. They also played a trailer at Quentin Tarantino's movie theater for the next season. So a select few people have seen the video for the next season. Anyways, it might come out by the time this podcast comes out. I don't quite know, but we're on the cusp of a new season of Fortnite, so I definitely had to catch up on stuff. Same usual Fortnite business. It's very good. If you're not playing
Sounds
it
awesome.
right now, especially with the Simpsons stuff, it's great. You have a week to try and get in there before whatever large, and that was a pun, yes, Fortnite update is about to come. Now's your chance to get this Simpson thing. It will be gone afterwards, which is quite unfortunate. I also put in a bit more time into Megabonk. That's the third-person auto shooter, kind of like a Vampire Survivors, but in third person, kind of feels like also Risk of Rain, where you have like auto attacks. They have not updated the game or anything recently, but I'm trying to kind of chip away at the last few things I have left to do in there, with the exception of extra skins. Still great. A great game to play in short, low runs, because most runs are sub 20, 30 minutes. So very fun to play. I've been enjoying that. And then the 3 games I want to talk to you about this week is I picked up 3 brand new games this week. Brand new as in 2 of them came out more recently. 1 was lit earlier this year. But last week, we started talking about the Indie Games Awards and the nominees for that. And there were at least 3 games on there that I had never played. And so this week I decided I'm going to purchase at least one of these games. So I picked, and I will have to read this because this is a terrible name to remember. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo, which is a over-the-top Zelda-like 2D platformer puzzler attack game. I've played so many of these like Zelda-likes, you know, like the Legend or the Jesus, what was the name of the Super NES one? Why am I blanking on this?
Link to the Past?
Link to the Past. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So like so many 2D games, indie games will use that model for an overarching world, for like puzzle solving in little rooms, that I feel like I played a ton of these, and there's nothing ever original anymore on them, but they're fun. You know, like I still enjoy them. I love the systems. This one, Pipistrello, has done a bunch of new things in it, and I've used. So yo-yos is your main point of attack. As obvious, it has length to it. It attacks. Eventually, it becomes a grappling hook. Eventually, it bounces off certain surfaces. Eventually, you can let it go. You can ride it as a vehicle. So eventually, as this grows and you get more skills, there is so much stuff you could do with this one yo-yo. I think 6 hours into this game.
Oh, nice.
It is very challenging for one of these games for sure. There's a whole system on. You get pick up pieces of hearts and pick up pieces of mana to expand upon those systems. But you also have a rune system where you wear different badges. The badges will affect, you know, the speed or the length of invincibility after you get attacked, or how long your yo-yo stays in extension, or so on and so forth. You can play with that, but it also has a much cooler system that I don't see quite often in these games, where you can expand on your life, you can expand on your stats, but you do it by, instead of purchasing things, you have an IOU to this. You have like a little home base. This shop will give you an IOU. Be like, instead of giving me $1,200 now, you will be put under a curse, and that curse will affect you until you raise $1,200 in the real world as you are playing. Oh. And it will take 50% of everything you acquire. So you're still acquiring money, but you're chipping away at your curse. And when your curse is done, you no longer have the curse, but you have the benefit of what you were trying to acquire. So it's about like, yeah, so like it's about picking and choosing where you want to branch that path as you're playing. And so it gives you like this extra layer of challenge if you want to. You could also not F with any of that stuff and just try to play it the vanilla way for sure. But it definitely adds like a lot more pump and circumstance when you're having these big battles. You know, I've been in the middle of a big boss battle right now that because I'm in the middle of a curse that reduces my attack by 2, is the longest, strenuous, difficult fight I've had in quite some time. But I finally just achieved it, and that felt incredible.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
nice.
So it has like a lot of neat mechanics. It's got great music. As far as like one of those handheld Zelda likes that we haven't had a new one, I think, in a couple years that had really grasped the attention of people. This one is very good, and it might fly under the radar. Obviously, the Indie Game Awards nominated it, but I know at the end of the year, I don't think this will be a lot of people's game of the year. I think it's incredible. Go check it out. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo.
That sounds awesome. Oh, just a side note, when you were talking about this, and this is totally off topic, but Uno, have you played Tunic before?
Yes.
How good was Tunic?
So good. I love
awesome.
the aspects of Tunic where you get a game manual within game, where you find it page by page, and that's actually how you learn like the language of the game, what you actually have to do. I find that Tunic is incredible.
Yeah.
Then the last 2 games I played a roguelike game. I've talked at length about how much I like roguelike games. I'm constantly exploring new patterns. Bellatra did poker. There was a Clover Pit, which was like a slot machine one recently. There's been pinball. There's been all kinds of different ones. This one is called Fable, or The Fable Manga Build Roguelike. And what it is a tactics game, but side-scrolling tactics game. So you're on one plane. You are dealt 6 cards, and those 6 cards can be, move forward, attack, or step 2 back, attack, or attack, turn around. And you essentially have to slot these cards in a sheet of paper so that it looks and orders like a comic book, a manga, which would be like start at the top right and it zigzags all the way down. You have to build a manga page and then execute it every round. So you build it and then try to take it, give as much damage to as many of the enemies that are on your one strip plane. And then every battle is slightly different. Every battle after the battle, you get new cards. You decide which card to add to it. So it's kind of a deck builder roguelike game, but with the manga overface. And it's been very neat. It's fun. Cheap too. It just came out on Steam, released from early access, now in its stable build. Really worth playing if you like these type of games. And it has once you unlock certain levels, you'll get different characters, you'll get different difficulties, but there is also a puzzle mode, which is about perfecting each page. And you can only defeat all of the enemies in one single turn, one exact way. And so I've been playing a lot of those puzzle modes as well. It's been scratching my itch of both my puzzle stuff and my roguelike stuff. So it's been a good time to play for sure.
Nice.
And then the last one I want to talk about is one that's way more in the media right now, but I finally got to get my hands on Dispatch. This is like the renaissance of the Telltale style narrative game. It is a episodic video game that features the likes of Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, Moist Critical, Alina Pierce from IGN of old, and now she's
Alana Pierce.
Yes, exactly. She's got. There's a ton of actors. There's a ton of like influencers in this. They all voice acted. Incredible voice acting. Very great in direction. But it's like a renaissance of those old narrative style games that comes out in episodic format. You get to play it in either 2 modes. Cinematic, where you actually do nothing during the cutscenes, and it is a very cutscene heavy game. This is almost more of a TV show than it is a video game at times. So you can play cinematic, where you do nothing, no interaction at those times until the game focus part. Or you could do the QTE version. So as there are actions in the cinematics, you have to make sure you time the A at the right time or do a slider with R2 and so on. So I ended up choosing that just because that's how I've played video games forever. And then it has a secondary, a more video game format called the Dispatch Network. And that's what this is about. The story about this game is you are a former superhero, essentially this video game's version of Iron Man, and you failed your last mission and your suit was wrecked and you do not have the funds to purchase a new suit. So you are no longer a superhero. You're just a normal guy without powers. And so you get hired by this company to be a dispatcher because you have all this experience being a hero, but you can't actually apply it. So they become a dispatcher where you were given a team of supervillains who have just recently turned over a new leaf, and you're essentially getting the bottom of the barrel of the superhero dispatch network, and you have to try and build them into a great team. And so what this does is dispatch network is it'll give you an overlay, and as different crimes happen, it'll give you a little descriptor. It'll give you like an indication of what stat might pair with it, and you decide which of your, I believe you start with 8 or maybe 7 different villains go to which part, and then it ends up in a random sequence to find out if you are successful or if you fail that, and that eventually plays into the main story parts. The game aspect of it is fine. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. I think it's neat. If that was the sole focus of the game, I think I wouldn't care at all. But the fact that it affects your characters, it affects their relationships, and then if you do very well, it affects the cinematic story pieces is way more fascinating to me, because this is, while maybe not, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, may not be that much of a video game. It's way more of a narrative focused piece. It is a very good narrative focused piece.
Awesome.
Got in thinking I would play an episode or 2. There are only 8 episodes. I played the entirety of it in 2 sittings because I got addicted. It's if they don't make a season 2 of this show or this game, I would be very surprised. One, it's already sold over 2 million copies. I think it's already a success. They also, released, I believe, the first 4 episodes, and then every week after they would drop another one. So they had like an extended release, which I'm sure really helped the buzz of this game. But it's if this was just a TV show, I think it would be a genuinely great TV show that people would watch. But the fact that it also has a game mechanic to it is very fascinating. And I'm hoping this will also branch into, because I loved, and I know you did too, when Telltale was around and they were dropping big stories left and right, Batman, Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead, the Borderlands, like that was an exciting time for me because I love the model. And then eventually, of course, like all good things, it kind of outgrew its welcome. I think we're now at a phase where I think it could be welcomed again. And this is an example of how you could do it. It's been very good. And the coolest part of it all is now that I've completed, I know I should go back and play it because I know there are branching paths, but they dramatically change what happens towards the end. Then now I have to go back and see, okay, how much more content did they make for this TV show? It's very good.
Uno, that I like you said, I absolutely love Telltale games. The stories in those games are some of the best I've seen in gaming. So this has me really interested. How long is this game? How much time did you put in?
So I think in 8 episodes, it was just shy of 10 hours.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it really is kind of timed in a 1-hour episode format. You do you'll see about 40 minutes of cinematics, and you'll play a 15-minute of the dispatch stuff, and very then cool. It'll end. Some episodes are a little longer, they're a little more meaty, especially like episode 3, 4, 5 when you're in the middle of it. But in the end, it was just sub of 10 hours for the full 8 episodes.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
And it runs fantastic on Steam Deck as well. So well worth to give that a try if you would like it. Great games this week, but man, that's it. That's all I got to talk about. And I think we did our duty this week. We played video games.
We did.
We definitely played a bunch of video games.
We sure did our duty this week.
We sure did. And I did it honorably, and I was very happy about doing it as well. Yeah. But we have so much left to talk about, including our producer quiz and a bunch of news. It comes to you right after this.
Welcome back to episode 85 of the All Elite Arcade podcast. And before we jump into the news, That's right. It's our new segment. It's the producer quiz for myself and Evil Uno, where our producers were kind enough to give us 3 questions, 3 trivia questions, where we have to see who gets the most correct answers. And then, by the way, at the very end of today's episode, I will reveal what the correct answers were. But we're going to put a little spin on it this week. It was suggested to me by someone in my Twitch chat, actually. For instead of us answering at the same time or one person answering before the other one, this time, to be crystal clear, myself and Uno, for these 3 questions, we are going to type in our phone what our answers are, and then we will reveal those answers. Uno, do you want to reveal the answer? Question 1, we both write it down, we both show it?
Yes, I believe we do it simultaneously, and then B, at 2, we do the same thing, 3, we do the same thing. That'd probably be the best way.
I think so too. And then once again, we'll reveal the correct answers at the very end. But without further ado, first question with the producer quiz. Question 1. Which of these code names does not belong to a character in the Metal Gear franchise? Is it A, Echo Snake, B, Liquid Snake, C, Solidus Snake, or D, Venom Snake? Okay.
Not confident in this one, but I've written it down. Here, actually, let me make sure my camera's rightly positioned. All right.
Yep.
Whenever you're ready, I will turn my phone around and show you my answer.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
I put D.
Okay, and
Venom
I put
Snake.
A. Okay. I put A. So I put Echo Snake. Uno, you said D, Venom Snake.
So okay. I know for sure Liquid Snake and Solidus are in there.
Yes, absolutely. I'm also with you where I knew those two. Not 100% sure on Echo or Venom.
Same here.
But I feel like maybe I've heard Venom before. So I'm going to go A, Echo Snake. Uno is going D, Venom Snake. Okay. Question 2. The very first Star Wars video game ever released, which launched on the Atari 2600, was titled what? A, Star Wars A New Hope. B, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. C, Star Wars Battle of Yavin, or D, Star Wars X-Wing. Ooh, this is another guess. This is more of a guess for me.
Well. Absolutely. I'm not in tune with the Star Wars stuff usually.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I know there's a title of one of these games that is real, but I don't know if it's this one.
Here we go.
All right. You have your answer in 3, 2, 1.
D.
You put D. Okay.
X-Wing. Yes.
And I put B. Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
All right.
I put B. So once again, our answers there. Me, B. Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Uno, once again, D. Star Wars X-Wing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Last but not least, question 3. Which Nintendo game did Samus not make a cameo appearance? Is it A, Kirby's Dream Land 3 on the SNES, B, Tetris on the NES, C, F1 Race on the Game Boy, or D, Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube? Okay.
Oof, I have no idea.
This is another guess for me. Another guess for me.
Same here. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I put D. I'm consistent in this round.
You put D? Yeah, D across the board.
D across the board.
I put B, Tetris. So, Uno, yours are easy to remember.
Yes.
1, 2, and 3, you voted D. And question 1, I voted A. Question 2, I voted B. Question 3, I voted B. So there we go. Some great producer quiz questions this week. Once again, we will find out the correct answers to this quiz at the very end of today's episode. Again, thanks to our producers for these great questions. I love this no matter what.
Me too.
I learned something. I learn something every time.
I actually think if it angers me to be wrong about it, I'm more likely to remember it in the future.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Regardless of what happens, I'm happy. I come out more knowledgeable one way or another.
100%.
Now for the news of the week, we got a bunch of news, including the Video Game Awards. That's the Game Awards, with Jeff Keighley. Comes out in December. That's December 11th. We're anticipating a bunch of new video games to be announced.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what else? Honestly, at this point, this is essentially the new E3, are the Game Awards and the Summer Games Awards as well. I'm excited for those, but I'm also excited because we just dropped a bunch of nominations for awards for this year, including Game of the Year and so on and so forth. There's I don't want to go through every single one. It would be impossible, I think, to go through all of these because you've got Best Game Direction, Game of the Year, Best Adaptation, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Score and Music, Audio Design, so on and so forth. We were talking about this before the stream, but Best Performance alone seems like an impossible ask. Like half of the time I've been going through these and I've been scrolling. I was like, I don't know. Even now, I can't tell you what my Game of the Year is. And I can't tell you there is no clear winner in any of these. This is the wildest year for video games. But there is one thing that is true for sure, and that is for the Video Game Awards, we did break a record, and that's Expedition 33 has been nominated, I believe, 12 times this year.
12.
Which is the record ever for the Game Awards for a singular game. Second most nominations on here were Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei, both getting 7, Hades 2 getting 6, Hollow Knight getting 5, and Split Fiction nabbing 4. So it's a big year regardless. I'd like to at least discuss the Game of the Year because I feel like that's the big... that and maybe one wild prediction for the Game Awards. I would love to hear one wild prediction. Starting
I like
with
it.
Sorry, please, yes. If you have one now, let's.
I love it. I love it. I'll wait till the end. I'm going to think on it, but that's a great idea, Uno. Let's talk about a wild prediction at the very end.
If I need like 3 minutes to at least think of one for sure.
Easy.
Game of the Year. It's time to discuss Game of the Year for the Game Awards. Here are the 6 nominees according to the Game Awards. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Not surprising. Death Stranding 2 On the Beach. If you know Jeff Keighley, not surprising. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Straightforward. Hades 2. Hollow Knight Silksong. And Kingdom Come Delivery 2. What a strong year this year has been.
What an unreal year. Seriously, because I remember thinking this. First of all, like you had mentioned, I just briefly want to say, when you look at all the different categories, every time I'm looking at these lists and going, how do you pick one? Mm-hmm. Everything, so much was so. This 2025 will go down in history as one of the best years in video games. Period.
I think so.
I don't care what anybody says. As far as software, as far as games that we've gotten. Absolutely unbelievable. And then you look at this Game of the Year list, and every single one of these games, not only does every single one of these games deserve to be in the Game of the Year award nominees, but I can't believe they narrowed it down to these 6.
Yes,
like how hard that must have been.
You could make a list of 10, and I'd be like, yeah, any of these could win it. Like in this list alone, Blueprints doesn't make it, Ghost of Yotei doesn't make it, Split Fiction doesn't make it, and I could see any of those games easily winning Game of the Year somewhere.
Yep.
It's crazy. What a crazy year.
Unbelievable. So many great performances with voice acting. I'm looking at the list too with like the best music. And I'm like, I've been listening to the Silksong soundtrack on repeat, but Claire Obscure Expedition 33 has one of the best soundtracks of all time. There's just so much good stuff across the board. Man, what a year. Uno, do you, and obviously we are not choosing our personal Game of the Years yet, but do you have a guess on what you think is going to win Game of the Year? I certainly do.
I think Expedition 33 is going to win it.
I think absolutely.
I think you can't be nominated this much and then be flubbed on Game of the Year. And then truthfully, I don't know if it's mine because we've had this discussion earlier on this podcast that until I've completed it, I should not have an opinion. And I think both of us are trying to complete it so we have a proper opinion. But even now, not completing it, it's very high on my list and it could be number 1. Every person I have talked to almost uniformly are saying this is their Game of the Year. So I believe that will be the one that walks away as Game of the Year.
I think so too. And I think, again, one of the biggest points there is, of course, it's setting the record for the most nominations at 12 in the entire history of the Video Game Awards, which is huge. Also, like you said, every single person I've talked to either thinks it's their Game of the Year. Some people say it's their favorite game of all time.
Yes.
Of all time. This game just took the games industry by storm, which is so cool. And again, like you said, I have now at this point finished Silksong absolutely could potentially be my game of the year. But even before finishing Expedition 33, I'm like, I don't want to say, I don't know yet. I don't know how I'm going to feel. So, but man, and it's wild to look at this list again, because so many of these games were 10 out of 10 games. But still, my gut is telling me this is wild to say. I would actually be shocked if it didn't win game of the year.
Me too. Like looking at the rest of the list, I would not be mad if any of them, but I actually feel like there would be a slight uproar if it's not this one. Like if you told me Hades 2, I'd be like, yeah, that's an incredible game. Can't be mad. Probably Claire Obscure should have won. And I would do the same with any of these. Like,
yeah,
Silksong, we've waited years. And if Silksong won this one, I'd be like, oh man. Kind of flubbed 33 though, that's the hard part. So it has the most weight going into this, no doubt about it.
I'm at an interesting point too. I don't know if you think this way about the Game Awards, but when I think, and this may be a really silly opinion to have, but when you think about all the amazing game titles that released this year and all the amazing soundtracks and performances and stuff, obviously Expedition 33 has the chance to win 12 times.
Yeah.
I still think E33 is going to win Game of the Year, but I also hope like some other games win some of the other awards to get their flowers too.
I don't want it to be clean across, but I feel like if you're nominated 12 times, that alone makes you number one. The second game, which is also nominated, is 5 nominations less. That's an immense amount of nominations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do want to. There is one last story I do want to talk about the Game Awards, though, because I found this tidbit very interesting. There is Best Debut Indie Game, and the titles on that game are insane on its own. Blueprints is on there, Dispatch is on there, Expedition 33 is on there, Despolote, which I have not played, which is definitely going on my list. I will have to check that out. And then Megabonk, which is a strong contender for my Game of the Year list for sure, was also nominated. Shortly after the nomination, and this is something I find both fascinating and very, very honorable, the developers of Megabonk said we would like to be pulled from this nomination because we made video games under another name and we just have a new development name and we don't think we should be in Best Indie Title. Which, this is a huge thing. Like Game Awards is a huge deal. To have your name,
massive,
your game in like that discussion is a huge selling point to your video game. But I do really respect someone being like, no, we should not be there and it's wrong. We're going to pull out. I think that's fascinating. And so extra kudos to Megabonk. But also, it sucks because look at this list that you had to compete with as well.
I know. I know. It's unreal.
What a crazy year.
Exactly what you said. It's so honorable because that probably would have gone under the rug. No one would have noticed it all.
Sure.
But for them to come out and say, hey, this isn't fair. I've actually developed quite a few games under a completely different name. This is just a new name. I should not be included in this list of incredible debut indie titles. A lot of respect.
Yeah,
a lot of respect.
Big time. And then that's it. That's it for Game Awards. If you want to go and check out the awards nomination, you have until December 11th. That's when it happens. It'll be live on the internet. Really, everywhere you can watch things on the internet, it's live on each platform. So do check it out. But you can go and see those nominations. They are on the web right now. Let us know in the comments down below who you think will win Game of the Year. And do you have a sleeper video game that you think will get up there? Oh, and also, what's our prediction for this thing?
Yes, I forgot about this. Okay, so my wild prediction is going to revolve around a game announcement. In addition to the games this year being celebrated, I also love the excitement of a new title being there.
Yes.
I have my fingers and my toes crossed.
I think you and I are about to do the same thing, but go on.
I don't know. I don't know because I think I know what you're going to say.
Okay.
Because I also agree with you, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because there's 2 games I really, really hope get announced. 2 of them.
Okay.
And my pick is I hope we get an announcement, a title, a reveal of the FF7 Remake Part 3 game.
So that's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, was it what you were going to say?
And then I was like, when you said second game, you're like, oh, okay, I know exactly what you're doing for that one too. So I'm going to do the second game on this list.
Okay.
So I think that's a great prediction because I think that's attainable 100% possible. The second one I also think is happening, which I just realized I'm getting chills because I'm getting excited for this.
Dude.
I think we're getting Half-Life 3. I think we're getting Half-Life 3. This might be one of the wildest years. Dude. Yeah, that's it. I was like, nah, he's going to say Half-Life and I'm going to surprise him with the other game in his brain. But no, you had me figured out.
Oh my God, dude. If we get both of those games announced, 2025 is just 2025 is the GOAT. It really is, man. God, that'd be wild.
We're probably going to see more of that OD game as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because we only saw a slight technical trailer. I feel like we might get a little more. Because I'll say this. They teased his games so early, but they always come with new stuff in a way that and I'm very curious about this. I want him to go back to horror games. I think OD looks incredible. So I'd be very curious to see what happens there. But yes.
Yeah.
Bold predictions. Let us know your bold predictions at youtube.com/AEW Games. If you got anything different or you got a sleeper announcement, let us know down below. All right.
Yes. And Uno, just talking about the future, once again, with the Game Awards, how exciting it is to celebrate the games this year, and also talking about what we have to look forward to, because we have a lot to look forward to. Well, Xbox gave us a ton to look forward to.
Yes,
Xbox had a really great week this week, actually. Again, I know they're upping the production on the Asus Xbox Ally X, which is very exciting. That handheld is doing really well, which is awesome.
It's doing remarkably more. Like they're selling more than they anticipated. There's way more demand than they never anticipated, which is great. This is like a power unit for a handheld. I've yet to get one, but I will probably get one soon. So this is great news.
It's certainly up there when it's one of the most powerful handheld PCs on the market, and my experience with it has been great. Like, for example, I actually just did a benchmark yesterday where I wanted to see how Ninja Gaiden 4 was running on the Xbox Ally X. Dude, at 1080p, it was running a smooth 60.
Dang.
Smooth 60. So it's a very impressive. The games look gorgeous and they run great. So I'm excited too as the updates continue to roll out and more people get their hands on this thing. It's a powerhouse of a handheld PC. But also there was an Xbox partner preview event where Xbox came out swinging. Uno. I had the chance to live stream this partner preview event, and my God, there are some games that I am very, very excited about after being able to see this. I'm going to do a quick rundown of a lot of the games that were shown. I'll jump into some detail on games that I really have a lot to say. Uno, obviously, same with you, but there was a lot here. There was a lot. Once again, if we took our time with everything, this would be a 3-hour podcast, which I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, honestly. I'm okay with that. Yeah, you let us know if you want a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah. Maybe episode 100.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll do a 3-hour podcast. First and foremost, there's Armistice, which is a third-person shooter or action game with a very hellish aesthetic that looked really, really cool. Also, The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu, which, again, looks like a pirate setting, but also with these really dark and twisted enemies as well. Also, a first-person Lovecraftian horror game, if you will. Dave the Diver is also getting an update in the jungle, which that's going to come out in 2026. A nice new DLC update, also coming to Xbox, PC, PS5.
If you have not played that game, Switch. Bunch of fun. A lot of a very good indie game.
Okay, I still have to try Dave the Diver, and it'd be great to try it on the Xbox Ally X. I think
it would.
It'd be great. Another game that I have had my eyes on for years at this point, called Crowsworn, which is an incredible side-scrolling platformer, Metroidvania type game. Dude, this game has such an awesome aesthetic. The battles look awesome. The exploration looks awesome. I love the art style. Again, when I saw this right away, because I'm such a big Metroidvania fan, and Silksong and Hollow Knight fan, this just seems so right up my alley. So it's still no release date for Crowsworn yet, but man, I'm excited to play it. So excited to play it. Echo Generation 2 was announced, which is a card-based sci-fi RPG that looks really, really cool. Also, once again, a very original, cool-looking art style. And then Uno, I know you've got to be excited about this.
This was my big announcement from this conference for sure.
Yes. Vampire Crawlers, Uno. got announced.
That's right. The people who have made Vampire Survivors are making a brand new game, which is a first-person dungeon crawler. And the thing that's super interesting on it is that they dropped this trailer where they advertised this with like a big CG trailer of the titular characters from Vampire Survivors in full 3D. And they're like, this is real gameplay footage. And then they're like, psych, not at all. We're taking advantage of the fact that this is the cheapest game in the world to make. And so they just took their 2D assets and put them in first person. So now there's just 2D assets walking around in first person as you're doing a dungeon crawler. The little bit of gameplay they showed of this looks really fascinating. And I trust this developer with like their content. They made one of the most addictive games of all time. I will 100% be playing this in 2026.
Yeah, I can't wait to check this out too. And I will say it was easily one of my favorite trailers from this entire partner preview. It was so funny. It was great. It was great. Next up, we got to see some more from 007 First Light. This was an Aston Martin trailer.
Yep.
Again, the more I see of this 007 First Light game, the more excited I am to play it. I've said a million times before, I love a good prequel. This game looks really good. Really good. I'm excited to check.
One of the developers from IOI actually came out because this is expected to be in the first quarter, I believe, of next year. And they came out as a news piece about how excited that they were that GTA got moved into late of the year. They're like, spring sounds incredible for us. So yeah, I'm excited to see this. I feel like the people who make Hitman making a James Bond game, that's 1-in-1. That's exactly the same thing. I feel like this will be great.
Oh yeah. Next up, we got to see a trailer from a game, Roadside Research, which again, this is a 4-player co-op game in which you need to keep things running smoothly without being found by the men in black. So you are aliens trying to keep things running smoothly. It seems really fun.
And you're like running a gas station or something, right?
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Yes, exactly. While also trying to stay undercover at the same time. So it looks super fun. Next up is Total Chaos. This was one of those games that really stuck out to me. So this is like a first-person shooter, but very horror-focused, and it looked very psychological horror-focused as well. Like absolute nightmare fuel. Like the enemy designs and the environments. I know it's not Silent Hill, but it almost reminded me of Silent Hill. Graphically, it was so impressive. And dude, Uno, that game's out now. Total Chaos.
Oh, it dropped?
Oh, it just dropped. It shadow dropped the same day on Xbox, PC, and PS5. I still want to check this game out.
Oh, I'll check that
I don't
out.
know if it's a super long game because I did go and look. I believe the game is only 8 gigabytes. I could be completely wrong. I don't even know why I said that, but I think I looked at it and it's not a huge game, but man, it looks awesome and it looks absolutely terrifying.
Oh, I'm gonna check this out for sure.
And speaking of absolutely terrifying, we got to see some more from Reanimal, and this is from the developers who made Little Nightmares 1 and 2. It's a 2-player co-op game as well, but holy cow, this looks haunting. Looks absolutely haunting. Again, I loved Little Nightmares 1 and 2. The demo is out right now, which is really exciting, and I keep going back and forth on if I want to play the demo or if I want to wait till the full release, which will be February 13th, 2026. But man, I can tell you right now, that is going to be a day one game for me. Little Nightmares 1 and 2 were incredible, and Reanimal looks so sick. I was
lucky enough to get to play the demo back at Gamescom for this game.
Yes.
Co-op. Me and a German stranger we did not speak the same language, but that was fine. It's fun. It definitely does feel like a Little Nightmares game. Visually very stunning. Not sure what the story is because it did not disclose it in the demo, but some very eerie situations in the little bit I did get to play.
Which is also what I really appreciate about those games, because the developers have come out and say that it's an interpretive story. So like oftentimes they will show you something. They won't tell you anything about the story, but they'll show you something and then make you connect the dots on your own. So your experience may be different than somebody else's, which I think is really cool and really fascinating, because I know these developers love to hide all these little pieces of juicy lore like all over their games. So there's going to be the juiciest lore in Reanimal, and I can't wait. Next up, Erosion, which is a sci-fi Wild West pixel twin stick shooter with loads of weapons, and this game looks like loads of fun. That's coming also in 2026. And speaking of games I'm incredibly excited about, this certainly was top 3 for me, is Zoo Punk, which is like a sci-fi action game, like Souls-like action RPG style. Dude, I love the character designs in this, and the combat looked so fun. This absolutely was one of the highlights for me. Yeah, I can't wait for this game to come out. I don't think we got a date for this one, but keep your eye on Zoo Punk for sure.
Yeah, the trailer involves your character, which is a giant rabbit, also riding a motorcycle. So you know it's cool as hell. You know it's cool.
Oh yeah. Also, Clover Pit on Xbox was announced, which is an indie slot machine game. Looks very
fun.
Cool.
Very fun.
Speaking of Hitman, Eminem is coming to Hitman Uno, which is awesome. Eminem is the next celebrity elusive target in Hitman World of Assassination. There we go. Geesh. Or rather, Slim Shady. It's the rapper asking you to kill his old self. So that sounds incredible. The trailer for this was great. Eminem did a song.
Yes.
It was awesome.
This is the weirdest DLC to drop in a while, but also it will make me re-download Hitman. Because that trailer was kind of cool, I will say. It is kind of wild to see Eminem drop all of these random ass video games right now.
I know, I love it. And we have 2 more titles to talk about. I'm going to talk about this one first. Raji Kaluga. Raji Kaliyuga. Oh, there we go. That was the main event. That was announced at the very end, which is a sequel, which is really awesome. This was more of a cinematic trailer, but definitely looked really cool. I know a lot of people are hyped for this one. I want to check this one out as well. This was a reveal trailer. But man, the highlight of the entire partner preview for me was a gameplay trailer of a game called Tides of Annihilation. This is a third-person action game. And long story short, this maybe was the coolest boss fight I have ever seen in my life. I remember watching this, and I know I asked you, Uno, to watch it before we even went live today. So, listen, please go out of your way. If you have not seen the 5-minute gameplay trailer of Tides of Annihilation, this was some of the craziest visuals I have ever seen, with the environments changing and like a parry system and all these cool different visuals within this battle.
It's all gameplay too. It's like,
all gameplay. Yep.
It melts from one thing to the other. It's quite impressive to see, I'll be honest.
It was mind-blowing to watch because, again, like you said, it was not a cinematic trailer. It was a gameplay trailer, and it looked like a cinematic trailer. So, again, but people who are action RPG or action game or Souls-like fans are eating really good coming into 2026. This Tides of Annihilation game, I just can't say enough how unbelievably cool it looked. It to me was the highlight of the entire partner preview. Oh my God, it was awesome. And there's no way my words could possibly do it justice. So if you have not seen the Tides of Annihilation gameplay trailer, please watch it. It is absolutely unreal.
Yeah, it's well worth your time.
Yeah. But that was about it for the Xbox partner preview. A very, very good preview event. Xbox just crushed it. Absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, lots of news this week with the Game Awards. We're at the tail end of this year, and yet I still feel like we have so many announcements left. This Xbox stuff just dropped. I know Nintendo's going to end up dropping one for Metroid Prime because that game's coming up in the next few weeks. Game Awards itself, we're going to get like 2 hours of different game announcements.
I think 3 hours.
Yes, and then they do that. Yeah. They do that pre-hour too, as well.
Yeah,
so we're about to see a bunch. We're about to all the spring, summer releases of next year. We're about to find out about. It's a very exciting time when it comes to video games. 2025 has been the wildest year,
the absolute wildest year.
Let us know in the comments down below what you got interested from this Xbox partner preview event as well. Give us your Game of the Year nominations for the Game Awards. Which one do you think will walk away? Let us know. YouTube.com/AEW Games. That is where our YouTube format of this podcast lives. We're not done with this podcast, though, because results from the producer quiz, and our favorite segment of the show, the arcade mailbag, comes to you right after this. Welcome back. It is time for our favorite segment of the show, the arcade mailbag, brought to you by our friends Upper Deck. Upper Deck is cracking open the most electrifying AEW trading card release yet. That is the 2025 SB Game Used set. We actually have a pack today. Chugs just pre-opened it now. There's a lot of stuff in this bad boy.
And not just a lot of stuff, a lot of really cool stuff,
yes,
dude.
Very cool stuff.
This pack is awesome.
Starting off, we have a Timeless Tony Storm card. We got Emi Sakura. They have a nice little sheen on this. The gold
they do.
Pops
they
off.
Do.
Swerve Strickland with a beautiful coat.
Very nice.
And here's our first piece here. Here's Akira Hogan with, I believe, either a ring worn or a canvas, canvas felted into the card. That's one of those special cards. We have
look at this
marquee card for Dax. These bad boys are thick as hell. And I believe they also have a part of the canvas in it.
Yeah, awesome. And then an autographed Hangman card.
Adam Page autograph card. He's the champion right now. That alone is a wild pull. Juice Robinson card.
Dude, so cool. So many cool individual cards here.
Yeah, and you can get all kinds of crazy stuff. It's available now. This is AEW's first ever game-used product, and it's stacked with pieces from the ring. Each box delivers one autograph and two memorabilia or tech cards. We saw the Dax one, we saw the Kiro one, and you got a signed Hangman in this one. From championship belts to event banners, kendo sticks to trash cans, this set dives deep into the grit and glory of AEW's most iconic moments. Yes, there's even a one-on-one fork, a nod to the explosive move Hangman Page made on Jon Moxley at AEW All-In's Texas. Whenever you're chasing match used relics or tech-layered rarities, this release is pure adrenaline for collectors. Collectors can now get their hands on a box in their local hobby shops, wherever though it may be, or visit upperdeck.com to find a store that offers it near you. Thank you as always to Upper Deck for sponsoring these. If you want your questions, it is time to answer them. But if you would like them answered in a future episode, if you'd like to send your questions to me and Chugs, you can go to tbs.com/arcade mailbag. That is where we accumulate all of these emails. We pick 2 or 3 per episode. We have 2 today, Chugs.
Yes. And starting off with a question from Thayer. Thank you very much for the question. Hi, guys. Enjoy your work in the ring and here on the podcast. Well, thank you. My question is for my son, who is 9 and wants a PC for gaming for Christmas. I've always been a console gamer. I heard a couple weeks ago, Uno stated that he put together his PC a couple years ago. I was wondering what's a good entry point to get him to play Fortnite, Spider-Man, Call of Duty, etc., without breaking the bank. Thanks so much. Thank you very much for the question. I do have a thought on this one, which again, PCs can definitely be on the more expensive side, especially if you try to go more high end. There's nothing in the world that's more powerful than a super souped up gaming PC. Obviously, it's stronger than all the consoles as well. But as far as like a good entry point, I feel like into PC gaming, actually, my recommendation would be a Steam Deck. And the reason for that is, number one, the UI on the Steam Deck is very straightforward. It's certainly a good entry point there as far as getting used to what PC gaming is, and it doesn't throw you in a situation where you have a PC and you're like, wait, what do I do? How do I download games? The Steam Deck definitely makes it easier. Also, it's fairly reasonably priced, and it's got a decent amount of power. Like, I believe a Steam Deck now is like $650, and that's for the higher end model. So again, still expensive, but depending on what PC you get, if it's a desktop, it's going to be a lot more than that as well. And then also with a Steam Deck, you can get a dock and then play it on your television. So you could certainly go the route of getting a pre-made PC. There's a bunch of different companies that go that route and try to make them as reasonable as possible. But God, I think my initial recommendation would be a Steam Deck. And if you want to play it on TV, docking that Steam Deck.
So I know right now this is for Christmas, so we can't say Steam Machine because that feels like eventually that might be your best bet. But a little early to go on that. I think Steam Decks is more than capable of running all of the games you listed. So that is definitely a good idea. As far as computers, I'm not the most savvy about the variety of game builds on desktops. I will say I've had an assortment of Alienware laptops, and for about $1,100 to $1,300, you can have an incredible machine that will last 5-6 years with no issues. Mine have been like that. As far as my build goes, you can do a pretty decent build in, I think, the $800 to $1,000 and still get most of the benefits of current gaming. You may not necessarily, get 120 frames at ultra settings for a Call of Duty, but you will definitely get, 1080p or 4K at 60 at that point. And I think that's more than ample for a 9-year-old, I personally think.
And Uno, you make a great point, because I kind of briefly looked over this, but again, with something like Call of Duty, I actually don't know how well a Steam Deck would run Call of Duty. I'm not sure. I've never played it on a Steam Deck. Certainly, Fortnite and Spider-Man would work just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe looking into that to see if a Steam Deck could even do that. But again, what you said, some of the pre-built PCs by Alienware are very trusted and very good and will be very reliable for years to come. So that would be, I agree with you there too, Uno. I think either a Steam Deck or maybe a pre-built Alienware PC.
And then there are also some, there's some pre-built website out there, like NZXT does them as well. And in about like a $1,200 range, you can get a computer that you will not have to update for at least like 4 or 5 years. And then the updates are not so hard. It's just, updating a graphical card. The main thing now is you want to make sure you have high processing speed, because it's a lot more costly and difficult to change that than it is to change like a memory unit or SD or so on and so forth. So I think in the $1,200 range, you're absolutely safe, but I think you can get $650, you can get a Steam Deck, $800 to $900, you can get a pre-built lesser computer and still do incredible. I think gaming is more accessible than it ever has been. Even the high-end stuff, you're talking about super high-end. I don't even play at 120 frames 4K with anything. Because the ask on that is so crazy. So I think those are realistic prices, and hopefully you find something for Christmas. And hopefully that is some good suggestions from the both of us.
I hope so. Yeah, that was a great question. And last but not least, we have a question from Elias. Elias, thank you for the question. Elias says, "Hey guys, thanks for always putting out such enjoyable episodes, and the producer quiz has been a fun way to learn new stuff about video games." Thank you, Elias. I completely agree. My question for you guys, what are your top 3 video game related places, like museums, shops, arcades, etc. in the world? Ooh, this is a good question. This is a really good question. Elias, the ones that come to mind immediately for me, and one of these, unfortunately, is not a permanent location, so I don't know if this even qualifies as an answer. But number 1 is Gamers Inc. There is a retro game store in Orlando that has so much incredible, cool retro stuff, specifically like Super Famicom games, a bunch of consoles, a bunch of really cool, rare video game consoles and video games complete in box themselves. I used to love that store. That's one thing I really, really miss about Orlando. But number 2, there was a store in Pennsylvania. And what's so cool about this is the name of the store is Just Press Play. And I remember growing up and going and checking out this store, and it was much smaller than it is now. Just Press Play is like 2 stories of this massive warehouse of all these different video games, all these different consoles, different memorabilia, action figures, strategy guides, CDs, vinyl records. Just Press Play is incredible. And that is in Pennsylvania. It's such a cool video game store. So if you're in the PA area, highly recommend that one. And then last but not least, again, this was an event that I went to, but I went to the very first Halo Outpost discovery. I went there for my 30th birthday. And man, anyone who knows me knows how much I love Halo. It was amazing. Again, this huge building with all these life-size Spartans and Master Chiefs and the weapons and the Covenant. Also, all these stations to play Halo, all these stations where you could get Halo merchandise. The voice actor for the Master Chief, Steve Downs, was there, which was really cool. Again, I love Halo dearly, so I was just in heaven walking around in Halo Outpost Discovery. So that's one of my favorite video game-related places I've ever been. And I hope Halo does it again, because it was awesome.
Mine has some recency bias, but I just came back from Japan and I got to go to the world famous Super Potato. It's multiple floors of just honestly every video game in Japanese and every console you could ever think of. They're there. An incredible store. Has a few arcade cabinets, but really it's a collector's heaven. If you make it to Japan, Super Potato is a definite stop. All of Akihabara has incredible stuff when it comes to video games, but that is by far the most famous. When it comes to arcades, my very personal favorite of all is Galloping Ghost. It's just outside of the Chicago area. It has an insane warehouse full of arcade cabinets, pinball machines, all kinds of stuff. Really, I would be surprised if it doesn't have most arcade cabinets in the world. I feel like everything you want to play is there. I go there. I usually smoke through an entire Simpson video game, the X-Men arcade cabinet. I'll play some MV2, MVC2. I have the Time Crisis stand-up shooter cabinets.
Yes.
Well worth your time. You could go there and get a day pass too, and just for $20, never stop for a whole day. Well worth going. And then if you're in Vegas, there is a pinball museum there that is incredible as well. I love pinball. They have, I don't know if it's the largest assortment of pinball machines, but very rarely do you go to a place with a bunch of pinball and all of them are operational. These are almost pristine. You can play some old stuff all the way to the more newer LED screen pinball games. If you're in Vegas, not the most crazy thing you could go and do there, but it's not that far from Luxor, so it's off the strip. Well worth your time going to do the pinball museum as well.
That sounds awesome. And then this question too, Uno, I really at some point, I've been saying this for years, but I really want to go to the Video Game History Museum. I believe it's in Texas.
Yes.
I want to go so bad because I love video game history. So that'd be so sweet to be a part of. And all those areas you named as well are so sick. So man, Elias, so many cool different locations when it comes to video games. And once again, thank you both for the great questions. This is me and Uno's favorite segment by far. Thank you all so much for sending in the questions. But before we wrap up with today's episode, it is time to reveal the answers to the producer quiz. I am going to scroll and look at these answers now. Okay.
Interesting. Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Question 1. Once again, I chose A. Uno chose D. Once again, which of these code names does not belong to a character in the Metal Gear franchise? The correct answer was A. Echo Snake. So that's one for me.
Someone in the comments remind me where Venom Snake comes from, because I did not remember that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm 99% sure, and I could be so wrong. But yes, please, someone in the comments confirm or deny this. I'm pretty sure Venom Snake is from Snake Eater. I think it's from Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I think so.
I just played that too. All right. Anyways, I concede defeat.
Question 2. The very first Star Wars video game ever released, which launched on the Atari 2600, was titled what? The correct answer was Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, so that's 2 for me. Beautiful. The side-scrolling shoot-'em-up game was released for the Atari 2600. The player piloted a snowspeeder during the Battle of Hoth, destroying AT-AT walkers. Okay. And question 3, which Nintendo game did Samus not make a cameo appearance? Uno, this is you.
Yes,
the correct answer was D, Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube. So once again, F1 race on the Game Boy. Samus appears waving for the players with 4 other women before Course 7. B, Tetris, which was my guess. Samus appears playing the bass after the player wins a B-type game of level at least 9 and height at least 2. Samus is in
playing
Tetris,
the
dude?
bass, and she plays
What?
the bass.
Samus is playing the bass in Tetris?
Dude, Samus
That's
is
amazing.
cool.
Samus is cool, dude. And also Kirby's Dream Land 3 on the SNES. Kirby meets Samus in stage 2, where she rewards Kirby for defeating a bunch of Metroids without her helmet on. If Kirby doesn't defeat the Metroids, she shows up with her helmet on and doesn't reward Kirby with anything. Dude, that is such a cool little detail.
I love when Nintendo like cross-pollinates their IPs.
I know. So good.
Well, another
So good.
week, Chugs walks away with another victory. I believe now it's 9-5. Am I right? Or is it 10-5 now?
I think it's 10-5.
I think you're 5 above. Yes, 10
think
to
it's 10 to
5
5.
in the producer's
so.
quiz. Just edged by on this one. Just edged by.
Yeah.
I had
Yes,
one, you
which
got
is true.
2. That Star Wars one was a sure guess for me. I remember X-Wing being old. I just couldn't remember if it was Atari old.
Yeah,
I think it was a
once
PC
again,
Engine game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I believe.
Once again, my video games textbook second edition has very much come in handy, I think. Doesn't always work out for me, but I swear I remember when I was reading up on the Atari 2600, they were talking about Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back,
Well,
or at
there you
least
go.
I thought so. So I got very, very lucky there.
Well, play along with us. Let us know how you did. Go to our comment section, youtube.com/AEW Games. That is where our YouTube format of these podcasts come out. If you want to listen to the audio format, hit the subscribe or follow button wherever you listen to your podcast. It will come out in the wee hours of the morning on Monday. But if you would like to see our beautiful faces, you can go to youtube.com/AEW Games. It drops noon Eastern Standard Time on Monday. And if you subscribe, you also get access to MXM Show, the Bronami code that drops on Thursdays. We are also on Twitch, twitch.tv/AEW Games. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday nights is when we do streams. Typically, MXM and Ricochet will be on there. But also on Twitch, myself, Evil Uno, I'm out there, and the Chugs is at twitch.tv/thechugs, and he will finish Expedition 33.
Yes, I will. I will do it. You should be there to watch me do it, everybody. You should be there.
He's a man driven. As always, thank you so much for supporting us. We're at 85 episodes, which is
85.
An unreal number. It will continue on. So we will see you next Monday for more video games discussions. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend, whatever it may be. Bye-bye.